Moving ahead with the second type of tissue, that is connective tissue. As I told you, the name says connective tissue. It is going to connect the two things together, the two different tissues together, but not only connecting the two tissues together, but also connecting the complete body, tip to toe. As we have already discussed, that what does this term means? Connection of two different things, not just two different things, but the complete body, right? It is connecting your body with the head, leg, hand, head, hand, leg. Tell me, can you say this, that your head is not connected with your leg or your hand is not connected with your head? Is it so? No. Each and everything in the body is connected with each other, and this is due to this connective tissue. Let me tell you, this connective tissue not just connects but also strengthens the different organs. It is for binding purposes, providing strength to the tissues, to the organs. Also, these tissues are not visible from the outer surface. These tissues are absolutely not visible from the outer surface, but definitely they are present inside our body and connecting, binding, supporting, strengthening the body and the tissues, right? The connective tissue is divided into three types: loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue, and supporting connective tissue. All right, now we will begin with the very first type of the connective tissue, that is loose connective tissue. Why do we say that this is loose connective tissue? Because the cells are loosely arranged. All right, the cells are loosely arranged and they have an extracellular matrix which is called as extracellular fluid. Simple, right? This fluid is containing protein which is called as gelatin. All right, loose connective tissue is again divided into two types: areolar connective tissue and adipose connective tissue. Areolar connective tissue is the tissue which is found beneath the skin. There are four things, all right? You have to understand the four main things in areolar connective tissue. All right, you can also say that this is said to be the component of areolar connective tissue. The first one is fibroblast. See, whenever the term comes blast, please understand, whenever the term blast comes, this means that these are dividing cells. All right, this blast term is representing dividing cells. Fibroblast, fiber cells which are dividing. All right, so these cells are large with a nucleus and a star-shaped structure. You can also say that these are branching processes. Fibroblasts are responsible in production of two types of fibers. All right, white fiber and yellow fiber. You are going to study about this in detail, all right? But for now, please remember that these fibroblasts are responsible in production of two different fibers, white fibers and yellow fibers, all right? I just now spoke about fibroblasts, and as I told you that the term blast represents dividing cells. These are fiber cells which are dividing. Main fibroblast appears to be large with a nucleus and branching star-shaped cells. Processes are like they are appearing to be branching processes and are responsible to produce two types of fibers, white fiber and yellow fiber. The next thing we are going to speak about is mast cell. All right, mast cells are found associated with the blood vessels. Why? Because this cell produces two proteins, heparin and histamine. Let me tell you, heparin is the one which prevents the clotting of blood, and histamine is the one which promotes the dilation of blood vessel. Why? Why preventing the clotting of blood? Your body, when there are no hemorrhages in your body, when there are no rupturing of tissues externally, internally, your blood should never clot. Your blood should never clot when it is circulating inside the body. Why? Because if it gets clot, that means a person may suffer or may undergo a cardiac arrest, heart attack. So, heparin is the one. Histamine is a protein which promotes the dilation of blood vessels, right? This particular protein will not allow the blood flow out of your body. See, when there is injury, right, the blood starts flowing out of your body due to hemorrhages of blood vessel. But this should stop within 2 to 8 minutes, and it is histamine which promotes the dilation of blood vessel, right? The third thing, the third component of the areolar tissue are macrophages. Macro, huge, phages, engulfing. So these are some cells which engulfs, right? Engulfs what? The antigenic cells or self cells which are ruptured. If there is some damages inside the body, the cells, the tissues have got ruptured, they should be engulfed, right? Because if these dead elements are present inside the body, they may cause or they may release toxin which will be harmful to the body. So macrophages are the one which engulfs the cells. Okay, it may engulf own cells, it may engulf the other antigenic cells. Last one in this is adipocytes. Adipose means fats, cytes means cells. Adipocytes are fat cells. What is the function of these cells? They will be storing fats. Alright? The next tissue in loose connective tissue is what? Adipose tissue. Adipose tissue are the specialized tissue. In what? Storing fats. We also say that adipose tissue is in association with areolar connective tissue. Why? Because it is present in association with areolar connective tissue, right? As I said that these are the adipocytes which aggregates together to form these adipose tissue. You know what? As we have already discussed just now, that these cells are specialized in storage of fats. What happens, when the fats are stored inside these cells, the nucleus is shifted to the periphery because there is complete pressure of fats into these cells, right? The nucleus is shifted to the periphery and the complete cell is occupied by the adipose, by the fats. Adipose tissue is again of two types. The first one is white adipose tissue. The first one is white adipose tissue, whereas the second one is red or reddish brown adipose tissue. Why is it so? White adipose tissue, the first one, okay? These are opaque. You understand what is opaque? They're not transparent, all right? Opaque means not transparent. White adipose tissue is opaque and it is majorly or mostly found in adults, whereas the red colored adipose tissue is found in fetus and small babies. Why? Because these are fresh cells, right? They are rich in blood supply. They are vascular, which means rich in blood supply. So these are associated with the developing fetus and the small babies. To conclude with the adipose tissue, you know what? We have got three sources of energy to our body. Glucose, we have got then protein, and then we have got this fats, right? So fats, the adipose, acts as a very good insulator. It provides energy to the body. But there are some good things, there are some bad things, which each and every things which happens in our life. So similarly, adipose tissue has got a good side and a bad side. Good side is it is providing energy. What is the bad side? That if the adipose tissue increases in a body, right, the person becomes obese, right? The person becomes obese, and due to this obesity, the person may die out of heart attack. The person may suffer from cholesterol. The person may suffer from BP problems, blood pressure problems. Why did I say die out of heart attack? Because if there is more of fats, there will be more of cholesterol, there will be high BP, and the person will finally die, right? What happens to these lean persons? What happens to the people who are lean? They will not suffer from such things. So it is good to be lean, to be fit. And that is what about adipose tissue. Here we end up with the part of connective tissue, loose connective tissue. Moving on to the second section, dense connective tissue, the second type. What do you mean by dense connective tissue? What did I say about loose connective tissue? I said that the cells are loosely arranged. And why do we use this term dense connective tissue? Because the cells are densely arranged. So this is what is the difference between loose and dense connective tissue. Alright? When you talk about dense connective tissue, it is again divided into two parts. Dense regular connective tissue and dense irregular connective tissue. In dense regular connective tissue, we are going to study about tendons and ligaments. Firstly, what are tendons? Tendons are the one which connects skeletal muscles with the bone. Tendons are the one which connects skeletal muscles with the bones. Alright? These tendons are made up of white fiber. They are inelastic. They are made up of white fiber. We are yet to study about fibers. Alright? You need to remember these things. I will be teaching you about it. Okay? Don't worry. These tendons are made up of white fiber and they are inelastic. Some of the examples, I'll give you a couple of examples. You can see over here, Achilles tendons. And then what you see next is hamstring tendon. Okay? Remember, tendons are the one which are connecting skeletal muscles with the bones. Alright? This is very important. Second one, what is it? Ligaments. Ligaments are the one which connects two bones together. Ligaments are the one which connects two bones together. Okay? Ligaments are like bands. They appear to be like a band. Okay? And this band is made up of yellow fiber. Yellow fibers are elastic in nature. So they allow flexibility. Moreover, these ligaments prevents the dislocation of bone. Ligaments helps to prevent the dislocation of bone. So this is what about dense regular connective tissue. The second thing we are going to speak about is dense irregular connective tissue. Here we are going to talk about the much awaited thing, fibers. So there are two types of fibers, white fibers and yellow fibers. The white fibers are also called as collagen fibers. What are they called as? Collagen fibers. Whereas the yellow fibers are called as elastin fibers. Alright? What are they called as? Elastin fibers. So very quickly we will first study about white fibers. What are these white fibers? See, first of all, we need to understand that both of these fibers, as we have already studied, this is being made by the cells. Which cells? Tell me. Fibroblasts, right? And how are they appearing to be? They were large and having nucleus, the star-shaped cells. Remember? These cells are the ones which are responsible for the production of both of these fibers, right? So white fibers, the collagen fibers, are the ones which are definitely produced by the fibroblast. You can also use the term fibrocytes because once they are matured, once the cells are matured, we call them as cytes. As I told you, the blast is the word which is used for developing cells and the cytes is the term which is used for developed cells. Alright? So fibroblasts developing, fibrocytes develop. White fibers are the one which are developed from these fiber cells. They are large. Okay, these fiber cells are large. They are having this round nucleus and a star-shaped processing. I am repeating again and again. But now we have to observe the white fibers. What do you see? That white fibers are wavy, right? They are in bundle, right? White fibers appear to be wavy. They are in bundle, but they are not branched. They are not branched. They are unbranched. What is the observation? See, I told you when you have to study tissue, you have to observe it. What do you observe? That the white fibers are appearing to be wavy. They are in bundle and they are unbranched, right? What is the protein? It is collagen. Collagen protein is the one which gives tensile strength to the tissue. You have to pull. Doesn't allow actually. Collagen is a protein which gives a strong tensile strength to the tissue. This is what about white fibers. The second one, yellow fibers. Yellow fibers are also called as elastin fibers. Okay? Why? Because there is this protein, elastin. See, if somebody asks you to compare what is the difference between this collagen and this elastin fibers or white or yellow fibers, it is very easy for comparison. Observe. What do you observe here? That this is completely opposite. Alright? What do you observe here? This was wavy. These are straight. This was in bundle. This is singly arranged. This was unbranched. This is branched, entangled in each other. Right? This provides elasticity. This doesn't. That is what exactly the difference between collagen, the white fiber, and the yellow fiber. This is what all about the dense, regular and irregular connective tissue. So by now we have completed the two types, the loose connective tissue and the dense connective tissue.